Kyk, ou is altyd kinderlik opgewonde, maar ek is nou vaderlik opgewonde om te gesels met my volgende gas. Hy is 'n motiveringsspreker, sosiale entrepreneur en skrywer bekend as die Dad Coach wat mans help om gesonde, positiewe rolle in hulle gesinne en gemeenskappe te vervul. Hy is ook die stigter van die nuwe winsgewende organisasie Father a Nation. En dis niemand anders nie as Craig Wilkinson. Craig, good morning and welcome to Goeiemôre, good morning.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Fabulous, man. Just tell me, what inspired you to start Father a Nation?
My kids, I was a single dad for many years. I have a son who's now 32, a daughter who's 29.
Oh.
But raising them just made me realize how important fathers are and how absent many of them are in South Africa, And fathers can be there but not there as well, and just the importance of dads.
Do you think it's something that came to mind being a single parent, especially for fathers, because a woman plays such an amazing role as a mother?
Yeah. Well, I think so. Look, I had an experience with my daughter when she was very young. She had to have a heart operation, and she was 2.5 years old. And when the day came for the surgery, and she was petrified. And as fathers, you're also quite nervous for you.
Absolutely.
So I asked the doctor if I could carry her into surgery, and he kindly allowed me to carry her in. She fell asleep in my arms, and operation was a great success. And a month later, we were at my house, and we were having a braai, and she was standing next to me. One of my friends said to her, "Blythe, I believe you were in hospital recently." And she looked up at him and said, "Yes, my heart was broken." She said, "But my daddy fixed it,
Oh, beautiful.
I tell you, I was, and it just made me realize that we do hold our kids' hearts in our hands. And how you pitch up as a father is massively important in their lives.
So which general challenges do you see, for men in today's...
Oh, there are so many. I think in South Africa, unemployment's a massive issue. The inability to provide, social media is a massive thing. Distractions, I mean, how many times you see families, I think you were talking about with your previous guest,
Exactly,
out for a meal and everyone's on their phone or at home and everyone's watching their own thing. So distractions, social media, just a lack of engagement. And I think dads need to be very intentional about bonding with their kids and spending one-on-one, undistracted time.
So your first book was Dad, How to Be the Father for Your Children, or what children will need. Made a big impact. So what core message would you like every father to take from that book?
I think the parallel journey. You can learn how to, fathering techniques, how to discipline, how to handle. But as a man, you can only impart what you have inside to impart. And what you do have, you will impart. So, I mean, the parallel journey is as you learn to be a good father, become the man you want your daughter to marry one day. Become the man you want your son to become. And that's dealing with our own stuff. None of us arrive at adulthood completely whole. There's stuff we've dealt with, So work on yourself as a man to be the best man you can possibly be, number one. And number two, the two most important words in a father's dictionary are be there. Just be there. Be present, be engaged, be available.
Obviously, you had some feedback from fathers or dads that read your book.
Yeah.
What was for some of the most positive feedback that you got?
Well, so many dads, wing it, don't we? There's no manual that comes with a kid, And I think mothers naturally nurture, don't they? But the father role is quite tricky, No, and oftentimes, if we haven't been well fathered or we had an absent father, there's no model, So a lot of the feedback is thank you for the guide, I talk about the 12 dad verbs. Being a dad is not just being as a noun, it's a verb. It's what you actually do. So there are 12 actions that every dad needs to take throughout and dads have found that very useful, almost like a dummy's guide for dads, Yeah.
And especially if you didn't have a good father figure, it's important to break that chain.
Very much so.
As being a father yourself.
Very much so. Yeah, we do have to break the cycle.
Yeah. Is there ever, there's a lot of wrongs, but how do you go about as a father to, make sure that you are in kind of the right line or what you do or think you do is right?
Well, I think self-awareness is a crucial thing. Look in the mirror. Ask yourself, is there anything that I'm doing that's negative in terms of my family's life? My wife as well, Are there any habits in my life? Is there anger? Am I present and engaged? Just a good look in the mirror. So it starts with self-awareness. And then, we're lucky, we're living in an age where there's a lot of information available, There's so many YouTube clips and, there's so much out there to help us to be good dads. So look in the mirror and then become intentional about being a dad.
And the other thing is, obviously with kids as well, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what you say. Whatever you do or preach, you need to do as well.
100%. Well, that's the 12th dad verb. It's model the way. So, you can't say to your kid, you really shouldn't smoke. I mean, they're looking at you,
Absolutely.
and they follow what you do, not what you say.
Exactly. Now, listen, you often talk about healthy masculinity and the role that's played in the prevention of violence. How can men apply these principles in their everyday lives?
Well, I've written some other material. In fact, there's a great book coming out with Penguin next month called Force for Good. And I talk about this, the six-pack of masculine virtues. And really, masculinity is a beautiful gift to humanity. It's been under fire, isn't it? Hashtag men are trash, toxic masculinity. But that's not the state of masculinity. We're a beautiful gift to humanity, even if I may say so myself. And you.
I hope all the ladies were listening.
Yeah.
Just say that again. Roz, Elsa, luister julle.
And there's 6 principles. If you follow those, you're going to be a good man. It starts with use your strength for good. Whatever strength you have, use it for good. And it ends in the 6th one is make the world a better place, Is your wife a better woman because you're in her life? Simple question. Are your children? Is South Africa? Is your community better because you're there? You're a good man.
Sure. Can you imagine if all of us gentlemen follow these rules and really apply them, how different the world's going to be, how different the environment where you stay is going to be, and how
100%.
That's going to be like a fire.
Well, we wouldn't need a police force. If every man was a good man, we wouldn't need a police force, we wouldn't need an army, there would be no war because we would be using our strength for good.
Yeah.
And that's how God made us.
And obviously, gentlemen will usually say, because there's nothing more like national, you have to go to the army or stuff like that, and discipline in the schools has been taken away. But men can still work at it.
Of course they can.
If you haven't grown up with it yet.
Of course you can,
Yeah.
I mean, who was it? Denzel Washington said, be the father you wish you had.
Yes. Yeah.
Be that man. Just become that man. Make a deliberate, intentional effort to do it.
So how do you see the impact of your work on young men and the next generation?
Well, I'm very excited about it. I work a lot with boys at schools. We've got this thing called the 6-pack of masculine virtues.
Yeah.
And, a lot of boys are really under fire. They're confused about their masculinity, and they're not even proud to be a man. And I say to guys, in your DNA is a rich heritage of heroism. Sure. You're designed to be a hero. So step up and be the hero. You can also be a villain, but the choice is yours. Sure. And boys come alive when you talk like that.
Excellent stuff. Craig, ons kan nog 'n hele oggend gesels. Thank you for popping in.
Great pleasure.
Verseker 'n boek wat jy onder oë moet kry, moet nêrens heen gaan nie, want net hierna is Arnold Geerts hier met jou sport. En intussen gaan ek die dad wees wat ek hoop ek kan wees. Baie dankie. Goeiemôre.